Welcome back, everyone. I'm making another pre-narration for what I was intending to do. As you could tell in the last video, when I gave a hint as to what the purchase was. Well, I guess you can see it there now. There was a couple of clips where you could have seen it. If you go back and look in that video, you could see it. And I wasn't really worried about that. So I wanted to make this like a prequel to my normal narration, because like I said, I had intended just to make a video on when we were going to pick up this fifth wheel, and I'm going to include all that. But obviously we had problems. We had big problems. Well, big problems. Two tires blew out within 10 minutes of each other after I don't know, 500 miles of travel. The refrigerator did not switch over to gas, did not stay on gas. This has an inverter system. And they kept saying when we picked it up, they kept saying, "Oh, your pre-inspection was so short." Well, I've had campers since 1995. I don't need to know how to flush the toilet. I don't need to know how to put air in the tires, put the slide out, things like that. But my question, what I did have, the only questions, two questions. One was, the main one was on this turning point hitch here, which what this does, I'm going to do a whole nother separate video on this by itself. But what this does is a normal fifth wheel turns here on the kingpin. This allows, you put in a wedge, which is one of the things that I needed. I have it coming now, but they didn't even know what I was talking about. Is you undo these two bolts up here, which I've already pre-taken them out now, in anticipation of getting that piece. But the this pivots here, so you get 22 more inches of pivot. And what that does is, I want to use the F350, which only has a 6.5 foot bed on it. Oh, my cat's climbing. My dog cat, that's Misty, she's climbing the tree. Hi, Misty. What are you doing up there? Anyway, you can't make a 90-degree turn with a 6.5 foot bed, because the cap here will hit the cab of the truck. So this allows you to be able to make a 90-degree turn. So that was my question, was on that. Do they have the wedge? Because you need to keep this from turning over here. And they didn't know what I was talking about, which was very aggravating. I'm at the biggest, Camping World is the biggest, I mean, I think it's the world's biggest RV dealer, and they don't even know. Nobody there knew what I was talking about. So, all right, I looked it up, and they did have they had another model just like this that had that wedge underneath it. And the saleswoman, I think she should have just taken it off or let me go take it off. But she went to ask, and of course they said, no, you can't take it off. Well, somebody took it off this one because it comes with that wedge. It's not supposed to. It would normally be bolted under here. If you don't use it, it goes here when you use it, but if you don't use it, you put it there. So that was strike number one. So they didn't help me with that. And the other thing was, this is equipped with an inverter, and I've never had an inverter before. So that was my main question, because there's settings on how to work it. So, of course, that caused the fridge not to work. We lost, $100 worth of food on the traveling part of it. Plus, we couldn't use it. Plus, it was beeping at night when we stopped. It was just beeping. The battery was drawn down, and it was like a nightmare. And those were the only things I wanted to know, and those are the things I had a problem with. And then the tires, I mean, they put a new mattress in it when you get it, but they don't put new tires on it. And that is the main thing. Without good tires, what good is the coach? What good is the unit? So as you saw, I put the new tires on it. But those were the two things that I had a problem with. I should say, well, you didn't see the tires get put on it yet, but I put new tires on it. So I just wanted to make this prequel so that you have an idea of what you're going to see, and based on from the from the last video as what's going on here. So you'll get to see what I did. Welcome back, everyone. Today is Monday, what is it, May 22nd, and you can see the big flag behind me, and Wendy and I are here, and you can see David's new truck has got a new fifth wheel hooked up to it. It's new to us anyway. It's 2019 Grand Reflection. It is a 23 RL, so we just got it hooked up. I've got to get the hitch adjusted properly and all that, but we want to get home, and I'll do a thorough walkthrough on it when I'm there. What do you think?
Let's go.
All right, we got it home. I didn't have a chance to do a good video on installing the hitch. I had to put it together right at the dealership. I actually met the UPS driver at her first stop so that I could get it, because we had an 11 o'clock pickup and we need to travel to Connecticut. My uncle passed away last week, and we are heading there, and we wanted to bring this so that we can stay at my aunt's house when we go there. So debating on taking the 450 though. I'm going to do a better review on this when we get home, because we've got to get going. But this has what they call a turning point hitch, and what that does, it allows you to lock the pin box to the fifth wheel, and there's two bolts back here that you undo, and instead of, it doesn't pivot here anymore, it pivots back there, and that makes it because this is a short bed truck, you have to worry about if you want to do a 90-degree turn, you will hit the cap will hit the back of the cab. So I was hoping that they'd have what's called a wedge. There's a wedge that goes in there that locks this turning point hitch from turning on the fifth wheel. And by the way, that's a B&W 25,000 pound companion hitch, which I'm going to do a review on as well. But anyway, I just wanted to get this quick video here, just so that you could see what I got. So, all right, we got to get loaded up and get ready to go. Like I said, I've got to adjust that anyway. It's up a little bit too high. The hitch needs to be adjusted down, so I think I may take this on the 450. Here's a little survey of the damage. Not really too terrible. I mean, it looks worse than it is. Took the lens cover off here. It took there's a door that goes on here that opens for the water heater. It took that off. It must have popped that hinge, so that's easy enough to get. It took off the skirt that goes over the wheel well. Left the screws and the plastic, and it just did a little scuff. Luckily, I mean, this will come off. So obviously not what I wanted to happen. So I got one on this side and one on the other. Of course, I'm getting a call here. And that's what it's supposed to look like. So that's easy enough to order too. I got that actually on order. So I just have to screw that back on, so no big deal. So you can see, my friend Chris, he commented on a nice white rim, but I got two white rims. At least they're both on the front, so it's symmetrical, because my OCD wouldn't like that if it was not on the front. So those tires are going to be put on Tuesday after Memorial Day. So. All right, for today's adventure, there's the two tires that blew out. This one didn't blow out, but the whole cap came off. Junk, Chinese junk, Chinese bombs they call them. This one just lost air. I don't know where. I'm sure its tread started coming apart on that, but at least that one didn't do any damage. So what I am going to do now is I'm going to lift. I put cribbage blocks in the back I'm going to lower those jacks down. Those are supporting jacks, so I'm going to lower those down onto those blocks, and then I am going to lift up the front, and that'll lift the wheels. That will lift both sets off the ground. At least in theory, I've done it before. So as long as I got the angle right, this was a little bit, I would have liked this to have been a little bit lower than it was, but the 450 is pretty high in the back, so I got it as low as I could go. Just found another nice thing the Camping World did without looking at, so they inspect this. Look at that. It's got a different nut on there. It's a different size, different, obviously it's not as nice looking, but it's also a different size. And when I left, I brought a 3/4 because that's what they were. I never assumed that one would not be correct. And again, my friends at Vevor have, just in time, I think they are psychic. They knew what was going to happen. And they sent me a 1/2-inch air impact. And it comes in this nice little carry case. They give you an assortment of metric sockets, and they are impact sockets, and a 1/2-inch extension, along with, this is a water collector as well. And they give the proper inlet. So I'm going to put this together, and I'm going to use this perfectly for getting these tires off. All right, and don't mind the long grass because I've been away for too long this week and the grass grew. All right, there we go. Off the ground, off the ground. So that worked exactly as planned. I'm going to leave those front ones on just for safety until I get the new tires back, which I'll show you the new tires afterwards. But I've got some good 14 ply. These are 10 ply crap that they put on there. So anyway, I am going to get those off. All right, let's try this gun out. So it's got 3 settings. It's got 1 reverse setting and 3 forward. There's that one, and there's that one. So you got the 1 in reverse. I took it off, no problem. Normally I will loosen these with a breaker bar first while it's on the ground, but they told me that this had, I forget what they told me, but it was a lot of foot-pounds. So it worked. I'm looking on it here. It does not, I do not see what it is, but maximum 90 pounds pressure, and it spins at 8,000 RPMs. So there we go. Take the center out. Put the nuts in there. I'm going to see if I have one to fix that other side that I was talking about. So, like I said, I'm going to leave those on for now, just to be safe, just to have one set of wheels on it at least. Not that I need it, but there's no need to take them off now. All right, that one is a 13/16. I got to get it off anyway, but I do not have, I thought I had some of these, but I could not find it. I'm sure I have it, but I can't find it. Switch over to 13/16, and I hope it fits in there. Yep, it does. It's good. All right, there you have it. So that worked well, and I like this case because it's easy to grab, and you've got all, as long as they're metric, what you're using. I suppose you could swap them out to SAE and put them in here. They're shorts. I probably prefer to have a deep socket just because you never know how long the stud is that sticks out on them. But it's still nice to have. Still nice to have those in there, and you don't have to look for oil because the oil's underneath there like I showed. And you've got the case, and you've got a wrench if you need to take it apart. So, all right, I'll put a link in the description to that. And I got to bring the tires down now and get them mounted. All right, I got the tires. These are some nice tires. These are much, much better. And Magnolia tire in. Laura's put these on in, dropped them off hour and a half later, got them back. So there's the old crappy ones. I put those on for the shooting range border. So they work good for that, but they're good for nothing else. So I'm going to put these back on and get this thing ready to roll again. All right, they are all on. Get them down on the ground and torque them up. But you can see you don't need a jack to do that. Utilize this one. Just get the front down as low as you can. So when you pivot off the back, you can get those back tires off. All right, that's in the ballpark. All right, there's a look at them on. I'd recommend these tires. They're 225/75 15s, but these are Trans Eagle, and these are, like I said, they're like a semi tire. Very nice. All right, well, the new fender came, and it is the right one. Came in a couple of days, so that was good. Still waiting on the door to come. I did get the hardware for it, and I'm getting new lights. I'm putting LED lights in place of the regular incandescent bulbs. What else did I get? I got, so I don't have to hand crank the jacks down, I got a 19mm impact bit, so that can pop right in the impact. I got a 50-foot 30-amp extension cord. I do have a 30-amp plug over there, but it didn't reach over here. Plus, a lot of places you go, you can't reach with the standard cord. I got a good water hose, 50-foot. I got a gray water cap so that you can hook a garden hose up and let your gray water drain when you're somewhere where you can do that. I got a, for the generator, I got a twist lock to the 30 amp, and I also got a 50 amp pedestal to 30 amp, so that a lot of places only have a 50 amp, and the only reason you'd really have 50 amp is if you have more than one air conditioner, which I do not. Oh, and I put a 90-degree hose swivel so that I can run the hose up. They have a little knockout here, so I can run the hose up and in and then have the door closed. Otherwise it puts quite a bit of strain on it to have to come way out and down. So, and that can stay in there. And I'll probably get a quick disconnect for that bottom so I can just hook the hose to it. But we shall see. All right, well, that's better. So even my fix over here, I actually rebent that better than the factory one is over here. As you can see right there, this little bit's got to come out so that can that can get up to where it's got to go because it's hitting over here. So I will take the grinder. I got a cutting blade in it, so I'm just going to just take that little bit out. This is just plastic anyway, so it's easy. But this is what I'm using. Black hex head sheet metal screws. The old ones were, the ones that were in there were just Phillips head, but I think it looks better with a hex head. So that's what I'm using. Alright, it is on. So it doesn't look too bad, other than some of the steel belts from that cap scratched a little bit right there and a little bit right here, but I haven't washed it yet, so I think, I mean, it's a little bit dented, but this is just aluminum, so it's almost like regular coil stock that you'd put on a house. Not really any thicker, I don't think, so to be expected, I suppose. But once that door goes on, it's going to look a lot better. And I was able to get that. It's dark. I have the awning out, just trying to dry it out. So I was able to get that cut in nice, and that's it. So I just have to wait for the door to come. That's being shipped out today, according to my tracking. And so by next week, this should be all put back together. Alright, this was a hard one to show you with camera, but basically you just buy the Hinge kit. Hinge kit comes just like this. It comes with new clips and comes with 2 new locking latches up here as well. But all you basically do is they just go into those clips right there. And they had put some sealant over top of it, some rubber butyl caulk, just to keep it from bouncing out, but clearly it didn't work too well. So there you have it. That was an easy fix for that. And I just got to replace that light, and like I said, I'm going to replace them all with LEDs. I think that would be nicer. Alright, I'm going to have Wendy give a tour of the inside of the RV, but first thing I wanted to do is show her old high sea boots that she's been wearing for a while, and they're still going well. And they asked her to be the first person to try out their new, this is a new style. It's like a duck boot, almost like what LL Bean would sell, like a duck boot style, insulated, lined, and so it's also a good fit for going with the camper. They're easy to pop on and off, and they look a little stylish. So she's going to put those on and wear those while she does the tour.
First of all, you can see how well worn these high sea boots are. I wear them every single day as I'm walking around the yard. And then so these will be my winter boots, walking around the yard taking care of the ducks. So we'll see how they fit.
They even sent me a pair for when I'm working with the ducks, so I'll put those in another video.
They truly are comfortable. Their boots are comfortable, and they're true to size. I wear a size 8. They fit me perfectly. Both pairs fit me perfectly. This is the first time I've put these on, so but they're great slip-on, slip-off for doing what I need to do around the property.
So I'm going to put a link in the description with a I forget what the code is, but it'll be an SHT or Southern Homestead style coupon code for, I believe it's 15% off the regular price. So that will be all in the description with the link to click on for that. So, all right, on with the tour.
Welcome to our camper. This is a Grand Design Refection 230 LR
yes,
series. It's a fifth wheel, 28 feet. And I said 2019. So welcome to our living room / dining room. When you walk in immediately, we have a set of dual recliners, which are super comfortable. A little pull back, and it goes all the way back. We have lights, as you can see, underneath. We have massage and heat on these recliners as well. But they are super comfortable to watch the TV, which is right over there. It is strapped in right now, but that TV swings out and faces us. Above these chairs, you can see there's a bunch of storage up there, and there's coffee table sort of with storage underneath those. Over here, we have a dinette, also with storage underneath. That this also converts into a twin bed if you ever need to have somebody with you. Under the TV, we have pantry storage, which is pretty good sized storage for an RV. We have a Bluetooth radio that also connects to the TV somehow, and I don't remember how. And then
with speakers outside as well.
Oh, speakers inside and outside. Our kitchen, gas stove and oven, a pop-up countertop, pretty cabinets with some good storage up there, and some shelves underneath everything here.
And the reason that that pops up like that is because when the slide comes in, the slide comes into about here. So if somebody forgets to put that down, it's not going to be a good day for probably that pop-up.
Our fridge, propane, auto propane and battery or plug-in, right, as needed. Then we have our little walkway upstairs. I'm not going to go in the bathroom. There's not enough room, but it's a good-sized bathroom, good-sized shower.
A lot of headroom.
Yeah, definitely a lot of headroom. Storage cabinets above the sink and over the toilet. And a lot of light because of the skylight in here.
And it's a porcelain toilet too, not a plastic one, which is nice.
And this is our bedroom. Scott and I replaced the camper mattress, which was about 3 inches thick, with an actual queen. So we have a regular bedroom queen mattress here. Above the bed, tons of storage. We each have our little end tables on the side. There are USB plugs in there. And over here, we have a closet.
With motion light.
With a motion light,
Right.
which for whatever reason
There
it
you go.
is. Our closet with mirrors and 3 drawers. It's very comfortable, very spacious to walk around. Plenty of storage for just the 2 of us.
Storage under the bed.
A lot of storage
as well.
under the bed.
And there's a look of going back down. The floor is easily kept clean, which is nice. Limited amount of carpet just on the slide. And that's been treated. That's like pet treated, whatever they call it. So that it's stain resistant. And the air conditioning and the heat, and this actually has an inverter, as I talked about earlier, and this is for this fancy fan that when you put it on, it opens up. And the nice thing about that is it's got a rain sensor, so if you forget to close it and it rains, it will close itself back down. Like that. Alright, well, that's that.
That's that.
Alright, here we are, end of video. First off, I want to make sure you watch the bonus after this. I'm going to put up the video of David giving me the warning of not to take his truck, and probably of what was going to happen. You're going to see, basically what you're going to see is there was a light in the shop that was swinging, that started swinging over the new truck, and in front of his truck it swung for over 2 hours. And I asked him a question about something, and the light went faster to answer my question. So again, if that doesn't go viral, I don't know what more you need to see. But anyway, so that's going to be after this, after my end narration here. But just to give you an update, Camping World executive did reach out to me. They did reimburse me for my out-of-pocket expenses, both for the food and for the damage and the tires. So that was good. One thing they did screw up, they did also, I asked them not to register it because I had a plate that I was going to use for that purpose. And they went ahead and registered it anyway, which caused that's a whole nother story. But again, too many people that don't know what they're doing. At least, like I said, they did make good for the damage, but you know, like my cousin says, who sells RVs, he says, RV means ruined vacation. That's what it stands for. So, you know, everything we had to go through, it was just, you know, you have a brand new purchase, you're ready to go, you're excited about it, and then you have to deal with all that. So I guess it's not the end of the world. I was prepared for the most part. Like I said, I did leave one spare tire home that I had, so I would have had 2 spare tires, so I had to buy one. I actually bought 2. I might have said this already, but we bought 2 because we stopped at another Tractor Supply because I wasn't going to go the rest of the way home without a spare. So I was able to return one of them, but you know, the 2 spares would cost more than the tires. So anyway, so I'm thankful to the management at Camping World for taking care of what they should have not let happen in the first place, but at least, and I have a feeling that you guys in YouTube had something to do with it, because I didn't hear anything for like 3 days, and then I just happened to mention and sent a link to the channel and said that you know, that you guys are going to see all this, and the outcome is up to you as to how the video goes. So anyway, I'd like to thank them for taking care of that. Hopefully in the future they can try to work with their people to make sure that something like that doesn't happen. But anyway, let me just show you what I've done. So since that light was broken, I put LEDs everywhere. So those are LEDs. Got the new door on. Got the new Trans-Eagle. They're 12-ply tires, so those we should not have to worry. They look, as I said, they look like what would be on a semi. And this is the hitch. You know, that's the hitch installed, and I did order lights. I did order the lights just today for that, so those will be coming. So those will plug right in. Yeah, so that's what I did, and I messed around with the inverter. Part of the problem, what happens is the switch in here has to be the same as what's inside, otherwise it messes everything up, but nobody knew to tell me that, and it was very hard to even find it out. Anyway, so that problem, I believe, is done. So the only thing I'm waiting on is, and I'll do a separate video on this whole how this works, is the wedge for here, and this doesn't turn. It's frozen up because apparently they never used it as a turning hitch. So I'm gonna have to remove this and take it apart, grease it up. So I'm gonna do a separate video on that. But all right, well, there you have it. We will hopefully be putting that to good use. And again, as usual, thanks for watching. Catch you on the next one. All right, I want to give a little backstory to this video so you'll know what you're watching. Today is Saturday, the May 27th of 2023. Sorry if I'm a little disheveled and tired, but I'll tell you of my ordeal that I had getting back, or through the whole thing actually. But I want to give a backstory. My uncle, his health had been failing for the past probably, well, 3 years or so. Whoops, it's windy. It's raining, otherwise I would be doing this outside, but we just got home from the trip back from Connecticut. So my uncle's health had been failing, and my cousin called me and told me that he had been put under hospice care, not at hospice, but hospice care. And, you know, I figured that it wouldn't be too long, and we were wanting to buy a camper, a fifth wheel camper, so that we travel around, go to people, visit people. We don't have to stay in their house or whatever. So we went that same day, and we actually bought one, and we couldn't pick it up for almost a week by the time we got it. So we were actually supposed to get it on Tuesday, and we got the call. That Friday, Friday night, that my uncle had passed. I actually felt him pass through me on Wednesday when I was in the shop, almost in the same place where we are. I had the same thing when my father passed. I know what it feels like. It's hard to explain. Lisa, you'll know what I'm talking about. Medium Lisa. But anyway, I should have known that we should have tried to speed things up a little bit, and unfortunately, we were able to speed it up, the delivery on Monday. I was scrambling to get the hitch. I wanted to take David's replica truck, the new truck that I got. So it's a long story, but everything came, and it all came on the same day, and a lot of things didn't work. They weren't right. They didn't have the parts. Camping World doesn't know what they're doing at all. So anyway, to get closer to the video, I was planning to take David's truck, and so when the night before we were going to leave, I came down, opened the shop here, came inside, and walked in, and it was like this, except the lights were not on. I put this first row on, and I walked down. I was coming over here to get some batteries. This is where all my cordless tools are. So I came to get some of the tools and the batteries, and all of a sudden I heard a noise, and I looked up, and so you can see look at it. I got goosebumps now. Yep, David, we made it back. You were right. You were right. You were definitely right. So that light, I looked up, and that light was swinging. Look at that. Look at that. So that light was swinging, as you'll see in this video. And there's lots of clips, and I'll show it on my phone after. Actually, I should probably show it now. I'll get it out while I'm doing this. But David's truck is parked there, and the replica is there. So the rest of the video is me seeing this swing. Now, it's just like it is now. There's no door open. There's no window open. There was no wind outside to speak of. So anyway, but let me show you quick on here just so you can see it. So here's my phone, and I made a special folder for it of light swinging. So you can see how many I have. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. There's 10 or 11 clips there. So I'm going to put them in the video, and it's mainly I do have a little bit of narration in there because I was talking a couple of the times when it was going off. But for the most part, I'm going to leave the clips long so you can skip through it. But you'll basically see that this went on for almost 2 hours. So that light was swinging for almost 2 hours. And I did a FaceTime with my daughter Brittany, and she saw it when I asked David, "Are you there with my uncle, the uncle who had passed? Is that why you're swinging the light?" And the lights started to swing faster, and she got to see that. But I really do believe that he wanted me not to take the new truck because it wasn't ready, and for what was going to happen. I guess he knew what was going to happen with not only one tire, but 2 tires blew out on the way home. And of course, I left one of my spares. I had a spare I had to buy, so I bought 2. I bought 2 from Tractor Supply, but I had one ready to go. And of course, in my rushing, I left it there. So we spent about $500 at Tractor Supply just to buy 2 more spares to get us home. But I really believe that, well, I would say it was for both. See, I actually got the hitch in this truck, but the part that connects to the fifth wheel, they did not have. That it needed. It was to make the, well, we don't need to talk about that. They just didn't have the right part. Anyway, so I know he didn't want me to take this truck. So I believe it was both, but I definitely know he wanted me to tell my aunt and my cousin that that David, that was with him. So my uncle is with David. David wanted me to know, and he also wanted to make sure that we got back safely. None of the other ones are moving. And look at my arm. Hi, David. That is unbelievable. Hi, David. I feel you. Uncle Joe here too? As you can see, that one's not moving. And that one's not moving. And that one's not moving. And that one is still going. What are you telling me? It's still going. I try calling her. She's not answering the phone. No idea what she's doing. Still going. Still going for over 2 minutes since I hung up with you. It's not stopping.
Okay.
You see any other one doing that?
No.
No. I'm still covered in goosebumps, and I felt them all the way. I felt them all the way out to the trailer. Let's see if it's still moving. Look at that. Look at that. And look at that. Look at that. Look at that. And it's still going. I mean, I don't know if this is telling me that Uncle Joe is with you, David. I don't know what you're telling me. mean, it's already a minute already since I've... And you can see none of the other ones are moving. I'm gonna sit in the chair for a minute. It's right over the new truck, which is in front of David's truck. I mean, you can see the flag isn't moving, nothing. We're at over 2 minutes, just on this clip alone. Still going. All right, let me shut it. Okay, it's still going. I just talked to Brittany. I FaceTimed her. I showed it to her. I went up and I took a handle, a broom handle, and I made that one swing, and it stopped after like 20 seconds. And that one's going faster. And I said, "Is it about that Uncle Joe's with you?" And that actually started to swing faster. So I wish I could have recorded myself with the FaceTime so that it would have showed you that I really was doing it. But I mean, there's no way that I could be making that swing. I mean, this is like a half an hour that's going, and it's going faster. So I think Shelley and Auntie Bar, this one is for you. Right, David? Uncle Joe? I'm sure they're happy to know that you're all together. And you let me know. And again, I just want to get the time in there to show the difference. So it's 18 and a half after. And that is still going. The flag is not moving. And I said I took a broom and I made that one swing, and it only swung and it stopped totally, like in less than 20 seconds. This one is going for 40 minutes. And it went faster when I said about Uncle Joe and David together. Right? I mean, look at it. If you look at it now, it almost looks like it's swinging faster again. Is that you, David, with Uncle Joe? It's unbelievable. All right, here's one last one, because I got to get up and pack. It's still going. Unbelievable. All right, it's almost 5 after 9. It's still going. It's still going.